In the depths of darkness, where whispers of shadows take the form of terrifying tales, we are taking you to the darkest corners of global folklore, where stories echo through the silence of the night and awaken the presence of creatures hidden in the shadows. Turn off the lights, hold your breath, and dive into these 25 chilling tales with WhisperDark that will make you question what lurks in the dark. These are the creatures that give birth to our deepest fears. In the frozen wilderness of North America, where snow falls silently and the wind carries whispers of ancient dread, there lives a creature that dwells in the darkest corners of human imagination. The Algonquian people have told stories of the Wendigo for centuries, and those who know these tales still speak of it in hushed tones around crackling fires. The Wendigo was not always a monster. According to legend, it was once human, just like us. But during a harsh winter, when food ran out and hunger froze hearts like ice, some crossed a line that should never be crossed. When hunger becomes so intense that a person loses their humanity, that's when the Wendigo is born. Its transformation begins with an insatiable craving no ordinary food can satisfy. Its body grows tall and emaciated, bones protruding through pale, stretched skin. Its eyes sink into its skull, glowing with an unholy hunger, and its lips turn black and crack from the cold. Most terrifying of all is its endless appetite for human flesh. The Wendigo roams through blizzards and howling winds, always searching for its next victim, moving faster than any living creature should, leaving behind massive footprints in the snow and the lingering stench of death. Those who encounter it report hearing their names called in the voices of loved ones, luring them deeper into the wilderness where no one can find them. Native American elders teach that the Wendigo is more than a forest monster. It symbolizes greed and selfishness, reminding us that some hungers, once awakened, can never be sated, and some choices, once made, cannot be undone. Even today, when winter winds howl through the trees, people in the northern lands remember the Wendigo and stay close to home. Along the tranquil riverbanks of Mexico, where moonlight dances on the water and willows bend to touch the surface, a tale echoes of a woman who weeps eternally for her lost children. La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is a story grandmothers tell their grandchildren, who promise never to wander alone near water after dark. The tale tells of Maria, a beautiful woman who fell in love with a man from a wealthy family. They had 2 children, and for a time life seemed perfect. But as time passed, her beloved grew distant, drawn to other women. Maria watched helplessly as her love slipped away. One evening, seeing him laughing with another woman by the river, rage and heartbreak drove her to madness. She took her children to the river's edge and drowned them in a moment of despair. Realizing her terrible act, she threw herself into the water, but it was too late. Maria drowned that night, but her spirit found no peace. Now she wanders the riverbanks forever, calling her children's names in mournful cries. People say that on quiet nights, La Llorona's wails echo across the rivers and lakes of Mexico and the American Southwest. She appears in white, her face hidden by long black hair, walking along the water's edge. Parents warn their children to avoid rivers at night, for La Llorona might mistake them for her own and drag them into the depths. In the misty hills and ancient forests of Ireland, where old castles stand as silent guardians, a spirit roams whose voice strikes fear into all who hear it. The Irish call her the Banshee, and her presence signals death's approach. She appears sometimes as a young maiden with hair catching the moonlight like silver, or as an elderly woman with gray hair flowing in the wind. Her simple attire contrasts with her eyes, red and swollen from centuries of weeping for the dead. She is tied to certain Irish families, those with names beginning with O or Mac. When a family member nears death, the Banshee appears outside their home, sitting beneath a favorite tree or combing her hair by a stream. Her cry, a wail filled with sorrow, is unlike any earthly sound, chilling the blood of those who hear it. Some describe it starting as soft sobs, building to a keening that echoes across the countryside, while others liken it to the howling wind or a distressed animal. When you hear these tales on WhisperDark, know that the Banshee does not cause death, but merely heralds it. In the bustling cities and quiet alleys of Japan, where children hurry home before dark, a story spreads fear like wildfire. Kuchisake-Onna, or the slit-mouthed woman, begins as a beautiful woman consumed by vanity. Married to a samurai, her obsession with her beauty and cruelty toward others angered her husband. In a fit of rage, he slashed her mouth from ear to ear. After her death, her vengeful spirit roamed the night, hiding her face with a mask. She approaches children, asking, "Am I beautiful?" If they say no, she attacks with scissors or a knife. If they say yes, she reveals her horrific face and asks again, "How about now?" No answer spares her victim from her wrath. Some say the only escape is a vague response or a counter question. On the beautiful islands of Hawaii, where palm trees sway and the ocean sparkles under starlight, a tale reminds all to respect sacred places. The night marchers, spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors, continue their eternal duty to guard the island's sacred sites. They march in formation at night along ancient paths with drums beating and torches lighting their way. Their approach is heralded by the sound of drums echoing across valleys and shores, the air growing heavy with an electric presence. If you cross their path or look at them, they strike you down instantly. Hawaiian elders teach that the only way to survive is to lie face down, avoid eye contact, and remain still until they pass. In the dense forests of Eastern Europe, where sunlight barely reaches the ground and wolves howl in ancient tongues, stands a hut on two giant chicken legs. This is the home of Baba Yaga, the most feared witch in Slavic folklore. With iron teeth, storm-like hair, and a fence of human bones topped with glowing skulls, she is terrifying. She travels in a giant mortar, steering with a pestle and sweeping her tracks with a broom. Her hut has no visible doors until she commands it to turn. She may help or devour her guests, depending on their respect and worthiness. In the jungles of Malaysia and Indonesia, where the air is thick with the scent of frangipani, a spirit hides death behind beauty. The Pontianak, a woman who died in childbirth, lures men with her stunning appearance, only to reveal a rotting face and sharp teeth. She targets those who mistreat women, feeding on their blood and flesh, her presence marked by the scent of flowers mixed with decay. In Ireland's misty fields and rocky paths, a headless rider on a black horse brings news of death. The Dullahan carries his rotting head, its eyes scanning the countryside. When he stops and calls a name, no lock or wall can keep him out, his voice a final summons. In the villages of India and Pakistan, where stories are told under starry skies, a spirit seeks justice. The Churel, a woman who died in childbirth or due to cruelty, appears beautiful but has backward feet, betraying her nature. She preys on men who mistreat women, draining their life force or driving them mad. In the dense jungles of the Philippines, a creature blending man and horse, a Tikbalang, misleads travelers, making paths vanish and turning short walks into endless nightmares. It feeds on fear and confusion, laughing at its victims' despair. In Japan's ancient castles, the tale of Okiku, a servant falsely accused of theft, echoes. Tortured and thrown into a well, her spirit rises nightly, counting her master's plates, but screaming in anguish when she reaches 9, as the 10th is forever lost. Along England's coastal paths and ancient graveyards, a massive black dog, Black Shuck, roams silently, its glowing eyes signaling death for those who meet its gaze. In the Philippines villages, the Manananggal appears as a normal woman by day, but splits in half at night, her upper body sprouting bat-like wings to hunt pregnant women and children, draining their blood with a long tongue. On Scotland's Orkney Islands, the skinless Nucala V, a monstrous fusion of horse and rider, emerges from the sea, bringing disease and destruction, its foul breath felling crops and livestock. In Togo and Ghana, a spirit disguised as a firefly, the Ads, slips into homes to drink children's blood, leaving them weak with mysterious bite marks. Among the Navajo of the American Southwest, the Skinwalker, a corrupted shaman, shapeshifts into animals to spread sickness and terror, its presence marked by strange noises and tracks. In Japan's mountains, a spider, the Joragumo, transforms into a beautiful woman after 400 years, luring men to their doom with her deadly web. In the fields of Venezuela and Colombia, El Silbón, a spirit cursed for killing his father, wanders with a sack of bones, his whistle growing faint when he is dangerously close. In Scotland's lochs, Kelpies appear as beautiful horses, luring riders to watery graves, identifiable only by their backward hooves. In Australia's wilderness, the Yaramai Hahu, a small red creature, swallows victims whole, regurgitating them changed, eventually turning them into one of its kind. In Japan's railway stations, Teke Teke, a woman cut in half by a train, drags herself with clawed hands, slicing her victims in two. In the Philippines, the aswang blends into communities by day, but transforms into a monstrous hunter at night, targeting the vulnerable with its long tongue. In Brazil's Amazon, the Mapinguari, with a mouth in its stomach, fells trees and devours humans, its backward feet confusing trackers. In Thailand and Cambodia, The Krasu, a woman's head with dangling organs, hunts for blood, her presence marked by a foul stench. In Latin America's farms, the chupacabra drains livestock of blood, its alien-like appearance and cunning making it a modern terror. Which of these stories chilled your heart? Do you have a terrifying tale or local legend to share? Drop your stories in the comments below. They might be featured in our next video. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more from WhisperDark. Remember, some stories are more than tales, they are warnings. Good night.